everybody says, well, so what? I got that. But they build and build and build, and you see more and more of these until you see all full-blown cases of MS or whatever other type of neurological disease. And then you realize that but it's never too late to stop. That's the one thing. Oh, the issue, the blindness, the amount of blindness that has occurred because of aspartame.
Mm-hmm.
That was shocking.
There was one doctor that we talked to who had tried to do a study that had to get halted because a nurse and the head of his hospital were part of his subject group, and they both had detached retinas. One of them lost vision in an eye because of it.
That's amazing. And they had hemorrhagic conditions in the eyesight as a result of aspartame. Let's go to, let me see here. What did I do with my list here? Jeffrey in Louisiana. Jeffrey, you're on the air. Go ahead, please, with Cori Brackett.
Hi. I wanted to confirm some of the things you were saying because a very close friend of mine, I'm repeating something I said last Friday, Leo Champagne died February 13, and he died, I'm convinced, from aspartame overdose.
Really?
I'm sorry to hear that, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
He was drinking Diet Coke, and what happened first, he lost his memory. Then he had a seizure at the top of the stairs, fell down and cracked his skull and died on the 13th. Now, another thing I wanted to point out, Splenda can do the same thing because Splenda has been found by the U.S. Sugar Association to be a chlorine-based product, not a sugar-based product, and it caused severe seizures in me. From March 2001 to October 2003 when I got off of Splenda for good.
I was not aware of that, Jeffrey.
That's right. And
wow.
The seizures consisted of blackouts. Sometimes I would eliminate spontaneously waste products without knowing it, and it was pretty bad. It would happen sometimes while I was riding the bus or sometimes when I was sitting down listening to programs. But when I stopped using the Splenda, the seizures stopped altogether.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much for the comment. I am so sorry about that.
That's all right. I'll keep listening to the program because aspartame is a very bad product under the name NutraSweet, NutraTaste, Equal, and other Nutra formulas.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the phone call. We're going to be right back with Cori Brackett. Hey, guess what we're going to do? 20% off all Stevia products today at the Power Hour. We'll tell you more. We'll be right back.
This is the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Joyce Riley, Dave Von Kleist, and Cori Brackett is joining us today. Cori is a woman to be saluted for the work that she has done. Now, she has a personal interest in this. Yeah, she's got a dog in this show, and that's because she got MS as a result of using aspartame. So she has a vested interest in trying to help you understand that you might be able to prevent this if you stop using aspartame. Now, she has a DVD called Sweet Misery, and it is outstanding. Now, you all know I don't talk about DVDs this much because normally some of them, I already know the information or it's not impacting. This is impacting. Now, the DVD is normally $25, and we are going to offer it today for $20 plus $6 shipping and handling. $20 plus $6 shipping and handling. And let me quickly tell you what the specials are for today. Again, the Sweet Misery DVD, and I'll give the phone number several times, 877-817-9829, 877-817-9829. If you're in Canada or elsewhere, the phone number is 573-378-6049. That's 573-378-6049. We have the Sweet Misery DVD. It is one, if you know somebody, if you love somebody that uses aspartame, get this for them. Also, we're going to give a special on all Stevia. We've never done this before. All Stevia products are now 20% off, including the Book of Stevia, the Miracle of Stevia, which is a book, the Stevia Cookbook, the Clear Liquid Dropper Stevia, the Concentrate Darker Stevia, Stevia Plus Powder Shaker, the Packets, the Stevia Leaf Ground, the Yerba Mate Royale Tea with Stevia, and the are the loose and the tea bags, all on 20% off today. So call the Power Hour, 877-817-9829. And while you're at it, you can pre-order now the book called the music of Dave's called Music to Die For. And it's going to be offered as a special. And here it goes. You will get the CD album, Music to Die For, plus you will get the CD bumper music Dave used on this program. You know, GW and the Carlisle Group? Well, you get that one free for the first, I don't know whether, I think he's got first 500 people. $5 shipping, so it comes to a total of $20. You get both CDs. You can pre-order them, and you'll be the first one to get it because they're going to go out in order of how they came in. So if you want to order Dave's music, everybody's been waiting for this bumper music of GW and the Carlisle Group, all those different songs that he's done. You know, even the war, what was that one about? Let me think. Addicted to War. All of it's on there. And you call 877-817-9829 to get that. So let's move on, because we've got callers and we've also got more information I want you to hear from Cori Brackett on aspartame. Cori, before we get to the callers again, tell them the story of Ms. Fleming. I forgot her first name right now. Or Diane Fleming. Yes,
Diane Fleming is currently serving basically life in prison in Virginia for murdering her husband. She was convicted of murdering him with methanol poisoning, and methanol is one of the breakdown products of aspartame, and this was never brought out in court by her lawyer or his the prosecuting attorney. It was always looked at as a murder. It was never looked at as an accidental death.
Now, you, Cori, went into the prison and interviewed Diane Fleming.
Yeah.
I mean, I could hardly get through that interview with her. She is not a murderer. That woman, to see her there, how innocent, how vulnerable she is, how much she seemed to love her husband, how this tore her up, and what he went through, he just started getting sicker and sicker, and they said that she was poisoning him with methanol. This was incredible.
Mm-hmm. The only source of methanol that they were able to find in her house was a sealed bottle of windshield wiper fluid. That they then went on to say that was the murder instrument.
So how does aspartame equal methanol? Help explain that.
Well, aspartame breaks down. The industry is fond of saying that there are two amino acids that it breaks down into, and they conveniently forget that there is also 10% methanol, free methyl alcohol, which the body cannot get rid of. It stores and accumulates, according to Dr. Walton, which we talked to for the making of this documentary. And he likened it to the industry is fond of saying that there are also more methanol. There's also more methanol in fruits. But what they don't add that we were able to get out of Dr. Walton in the documentary is that methanol in fruits bounds to something called pectin, so it goes through the body and passes through no problem, but it's not free methyl alcohol like it is in aspartame, so that can be much more of a problem. Methanol, by the way, is what people went blind on in the 20s during Prohibition. It's not a very nice substance. It's a rather nasty.
It's wood alcohol. When you buy rubbing alcohol, what happens is people who are so addicted to alcohol that they go into seizures without it. And I used to take care of these people because when I was worked in a hospital, they'd bring them in the emergency room that were dying of basically wood alcohol poisoning or from drinking rubbing alcohol. And they would get very, very ill, toxic with the methanol, which is the breakdown product of aspartame. Mm-hmm. So this man became ill as a result of drinking aspartame, and she said he was such a fitness expert. I mean, he was really into researching everything. Well, he researched everything but aspartame, it appears, and he became, victim to this, died a horrible death, and now she is in prison for 50 years. Now, I want everybody to see this on tape, to see what can happen to people in this country. That could happen to any of us, Cori.
Right. When I met Diane in prison, I was so fortunate to be able to meet her. She's a wonderful person.
Yes.
I really felt like I should be sitting in her living room and sharing some tea and scones or crumpets or biscuits or something with her rather than sitting across from her at a table in the cafeteria of a prison.
I tell you, it was. I also worked in a prison, and it was really hard. I have such horrible memories of that prison, not because it was a bad prison, but just it's a terrible environment to work in as a nurse. And as this loudspeaker system would come on, it just gave me chills. And realizing where she was and what she was going back to after she left that interview. You were so fortunate to be able to interview her in prison. I am so glad that was on there. And I wish people would see this, because you will now understand just how devious whatever the powers that be are to be able to keep their little dirty secret closely held here so that nobody really finds out the truth on this.
Well, it's interesting that we were able to go in to see Diane Fleming, no problem. She's in a state prison. There's another person in Texas who's in a federal prison in Beaumont who we tried to see for the follow-up to Sweet Misery called Sweet Remedy that we're putting out this summer.
Oh, wonderful.
And we're quite excited about that project, too. But we were unable to get into the federal prison. They just flatly wouldn't allow us, and they said we weren't mainstream mass media enough for them.
Oh, you don't have the cover-up commercials.
Right.
Cover-up credentials. Let's go to Lynn in Toronto. Lynn, I'm sorry to make you hold so long. Go ahead. You're on the air with Cori Brackett. Go ahead, please.
Yes, hi. Just 2 points, okay, and make them fast. First one is that I had a friend up here in Toronto. She's was a well-known media person, and she had a lot of problems with depression, etc. And she used to brag to me that, hey, I'm into the natural. I have about 8 to 10 glasses of diet pop a day, so I have to. She could have committed suicide by now, but never made the connection with aspartame. It's kind of interesting, but wanted to let you know that I'm a handwriting examiner here in Toronto. I do a lot of document examination with the court, so if you have a forged signature, I'm the one who comes in and looks at it, blah, blah, presents court testimony, etc. But also, what we've done here in Canada is done, at my school, we've done a lot of research into the nervous system connection to your script, because handwriting is just fine motor movement. And as your nervous system deteriorates, so does the writing. So if your nervous system is attacked by an irritant like aspartame, I guess, I never thought of this one before, it will affect your writing. So didn't know if I would be interested in getting information out to you about this, because it would be a way for people to test for themselves, Just take a paragraph before your aspartame and then after, and see all the beautiful changes.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a very interesting point, because when I was going through my withdrawal from aspartame, I was having a very distinctive change in my writing, to the point that I didn't feel as comfortable writing a check for my business or, pretty much anything. I just felt like I could not really write. And
it might be
improved.
It might be interesting to talk to Lynn about this and even show some before and after, because that would be interesting for Dr. Blaylock or a neurologist to look at that.
I would love to see that, and I thought, too, with the vets who are been victimized by all this, all the vaccines that have the neurotoxins in them.
That's right.
What are we looking at here? And because now all of a sudden it's not just a thing in the head, it's a visual. Hey, we have handwriting, dramatic handwriting deterioration, not just 1 or 2 or 10, but in thousands,
That is fantastic. Hey, Lynn, can you email me with your, can you email me?
Yeah, you definitely can. And,
okay.
And it's Joyce at AOL.com?
No, Joyce at thepowerhour.com.
At the Power Hour. I will send that through. But I'm here with my sister. I'm visiting her, and she just has a quick thing. It's regarding aspartame. It won't take a sec. Is that okay? Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, Lynn.
Yes, hello. There's a magazine down here in Canada. It comes out of Burnaby, BC. It states that it's Canada's #1 read magazine of natural health, and it's called Alive, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonderful book. And in it, in the December issue, for your listeners, they zero in on aspartame, and they actually have a listing of all the foods, products containing aspartame.
Really?
Yes, and I've got it right here. I can very quickly put it out there to your public.
Okay.
They're Equal, Gaviscon, Alka-Seltzer, Cool Mint Listerine.
What?
Yes,
wow.
Yeah. Diet Pepsi, Mylanta, Signature Range, I don't know what that is, NutraSweet, Metamucil, Extra, Paracare, Diet Coca-Cola, Diet Schweppes, Powerade, Tylenol, Flintstone vitamins. How do you like that one?
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Pedicare, Zantac, Biopharmaceuticals, Naturalax, because that's the X-Lax, like, Diet Snapple, Jello Light, Carnation Hot Chocolate, and Kool-Aid Light.
Wow.
There's a listing of them.